Hey folks, welcome back to LP Music. In this video, I will talk a little bit about my hybrid mixing setup and how I get my final mixdown back into the DAW. This will be kind of part 3 of the hybrid mixing setup. I link the other two parts in the description below. So the first part was the routing of the console and how it's connected to the converters, and part 2 is the template for the software for the DAW, which is Logic Pro X in my case. And in this part, which is part 3, I'm gonna show you how I monitor the mix and how I get the final mixdown back into the DAW. So hope you can learn something from it, and let's get started. Did she wake you up to tell you that it was only a change of... Okay, so first things first, as you can see, here is the main mix output of the console, and on the back of the console are the outputs for the main mix. There's two cables, and they go here into the converters right there. So this is left and right. This is the mix bus. In my case, this is input 13 and 14. And on the back of the converters, I have two spare outputs. It's very important to have two spare outputs for that, because those outputs go into the back of the console, into the monitor section, and into the 2-track of the console. So not into the... I don't monitor from the main mix, I monitor from the 2-track. And the 2-track of every mixing console is just in the path of the monitor section. It's not routed anywhere on the channel or on the mix bus. It just goes to the monitors. So you can listen back to the mix and you don't get any feedback because it's routed nowhere. Okay, and now let's check out the DAW, how I set up the channel for the mixdown. Okay, so here is the track. It's a cover song, really young. Just listen to it a little bit. Did I see you down in a young girl's town with your mother in so much pain? I was on... Okay, and as you can see, I created here a track. I call it the mixdown track, and on the inputs I have now input 13 and 14, which are the inputs that I showed you before on the converters. And on the output are the two spare channels of the converter, which are in my case output 27 and 28. And those outputs are connected with two cables into the 2-track of the console. And then I engage the 2-track on the console in the monitor section, and I engage here the input of the channel. So you have the software monitoring activated, and when you hit play, you can now listen back to the feed of the console. If you disengage the input, it's muted, and back. And the cool thing about that is now you can literally use plugins, so you can mix into plugins with that. For example, you can engage a compressor, a EQ, and a tape simulation plugin, and you kind of mix into those plugins. So you want to make sure before you mix that you engage those plugins, okay? So don't engage them afterwards because they can really mess up your mix. If you want to use them, for example, I like to use a little bit of a top-end boost around 16 kilohertz here on the EQ, a little bit of compression, and Of course, a little saturation here. I just use mainly the Abbey Road default with no noise at all and just a little bit of saturation. So let's listen to the mix without first and then engage the plugins. So a little bit louder, a little bit of more top end, and yes, sounds quite pleasing. Okay, so this is just a quick and short video how I route the Mixdown back to the converters and into the DAW. I hope that it's now clear. I got quite some questions how I route the mix back into the DAW, and I think I covered now mostly every basics of a hybrid mixing setup. If you have any further questions, just leave it in the comments below and I try to answer them. So thanks for watching, have a great day and see you next time.